Joel, welcome to the Closing Authority podcast, mate. I appreciate you jumping on. How you doing?
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for being here. And bro, I've heard a lot about you, so I'm excited.
Oh, mate, that's too kind. Well, look, the way I like to do these episodes is I really want to get some context on yourself. Where were you before you got into sales, and what was like that introduction moment into sales in the high ticket space?
How long we got? So
All the time, brother.
I wanna quickly touch on a really important point. Is I had a speech impediment, so I was stuttering until the age of 15. I was scared to communicate. I was scared to get out of my comfort zone and hang around with people I didn't know. And randomly, when I was 15, almost 16, I turned up to a beach club one day because my girlfriend at the time was going to have an interview to be a hostess on a beach club. That beach club is called Nikki Beach, right? Massive. They're around the world, started in Miami. And I'm just sitting there at the bar. And then the guy that she had an interview with said, "Who did you come with?" She said, "That's my boyfriend. Does he want a job as well? We need staff." So anyway, he came over to me and I'm stuttering. I'm like trying to explain myself. And he turned around and he was like, "I like you. I used to have a stutter. I'm going to give you a chance." So anyway, all of a sudden, from being a very shy kid, I'm now working on this beach club looking after the rich and famous. And gradually over time, he's teaching me how to communicate. Now, without realizing, the way that he was teaching me how to communicate, it was first of all to help me with my speech impediment, but also he started teaching me how I could start being curious, using pauses to be able to get people to lean in and listen to me a lot more and figure out what they're looking for, set expectations, and then just sell them what they needed. But I didn't know that was sales. So literally from the age of 15, I've been in sales. So through my whole journey, I I was learning human behavior, psychology, how I can, give someone the best experience. And I never thought it was sales. I just thought I'm doing, my job where I had to figure out how I can sell as many bottles of champagne to one individual. And as time went by, I was working on beach clubs for about 14 years, which was,
Wow.
can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, go for
All
it.
right, let's go. Bro, it's fucking unbelievable. Because what I was doing, I was working 6 months in the summer on beach clubs, looking after the rich and famous, half naked people running around all day, selling bottles of champagne, organizing. And the other 6 months, I was just traveling around with the money that I made. And again, up to the age of 26, I was doing that. Didn't realize that I was in sales, like I mentioned. But now that I think about it, it's like, well, we were on commission as well. So the more bottles of champagne that we sold, the more money we made. So not only were we like, okay, well, how can we sell more bottles of champagne? It's like, how can we find big spenders to invite them to the beach club and then have one group of big spenders have champagne parties and champagne wars with another group of big spenders, make them buy as much, as possible, and then you're making more money plus tips and so on. So I made quite a lot of money doing that. And I just thought I was a VIP waiter. That was my title, right? And then after that, I got headhunted to go and open a nightclub in Dubai. So with all the experience that I had from running these beach clubs, I get to Dubai, and it was this was in 2012, and this was the time where Dubai wasn't what it is today, and we were the first group of Europeans to go in and actually run a nightclub, but the staff being Europeans as well. Normally it was Indians, Filipinos, Sri Lankans, and we're like, okay, well, the brand of the club is called VIP Room. Beautiful brand from Saint Tropez. How can we make this the best club in the world? So with all the knowledge that I had and all the knowledge that the other guys had from, Europe, we got together and we did roundtable masterminds, brainstorming ideas, and we came up with an idea of like, hey, let's go to all the biggest and best hotels and I don't want to use the word bribe, let's influence the concierge with a bit of cash up front and be like, hey, listen, new nightclub. If you hear any big spenders looking for a club, send them my way. And every time you do that, I'm going to give you, some money. So that's what we did. So all of a sudden, bam, best nightclub. So then from there, I started my concierge company, um, trying to provide everything you can imagine for my clients. And I still didn't know I was in sales. I just thought I provide a service, and I like to serve people. And my whole mentality was I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve. I am a server. The more I can give, the more I can give, and that was always been my mentality.
It's a great mentality.
Yeah, it was good until you kind of fall into this fake world and you end up trying to be someone that you're not to fit in. And then it got to a point
Hmm.
where I was 30. I had everything I wanted: the cars, the wife, the money, the watches, the suits. And I'm like, who the fuck am I? Like,
Mm.
I've turned into this person that I don't like, I don't respect. I've tried to kind of fake it so much till I made it that when I made it, I forgot who I was. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And at that point, bro, I fucking crashed hard. Crashed. Like, I lost my identity. I didn't know who I was. I didn't have any friends around me. All the friends that I thought I had, they weren't there. So
And what was going on in your brain at that time?
it was a feeling of I have everything I've ever dreamed of, and I'm not happy. What is missing? What is missing? I have the job that I thought I always wanted, the respect, and I was chasing this significance of, hey, I can go into any nightclub, I can go to any restaurant. Hey Joe, here's your table, free bottle. Hey, let me invite you to my restaurant, because in return I would look after them as well. So it was just a feeling of absolute emptiness, thinking, is this what life really is? Is this, now what? What's the next step? Because I was chasing significance and money and this materialistic thing that I never had this kind of journey within, of like, my whole life I've been going without, trying to find pleasure outside of myself, that I've never really discovered what I truly want and go and have that journey within.
Mm.
So then I went through a divorce. I gave everything up in Dubai, and I went to Sri Lanka, and I literally was there for a couple of months. And from there I went vegan. Right, now don't judge me. I went vegan. I was one of them.
A
I'm not
little bit
vegan
of
anymore.
judgment, but
Don't judge. I'm not vegan anymore. It's fine. But then I thought, wow, like my mental clarity is coming back. I feel good. I want to start preaching veganism without preaching. So I went to the UK, and then I opened a chain of vegan restaurants. We had 17 locations. We had a vegan meat factory. We had a few $1 million of investment into the business. We were doing just under $3 million a month. Sorry, $3 million a year. We were going through valuation, and then COVID hit. And
oof.
then from making again lots of money, bankrupt, in debt, had to move back in with mum and dad. So at that point, I crashed again. So twice. Crashed twice before the age of 32. And at that time, I'm like, okay, what do I like to do? I like to make money. I like to travel. I like to help people and be in service to others. And that's when I started, during COVID, looking online and figuring out how I can get onto this, online space. I didn't know what high ticket was, and I didn't know what being a salesman was, because my dad, his whole life is like, Joel, whatever you do, don't be a commission-based rep. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. Like, that's what my dad's done his whole life, is being a commission-based sales rep. So I'm like, nah, dad, I'm not going to do that. Don't worry. Like, I love you, but, and anyway. um, so these ads started popping up. More research I do is like, hey, do you want to make money online? Try this, try that. And I'm like, let me try something. At that point, I was 26 grand in debt. I tried a recruitment. Sorry, I tried a marketing agency, which was terrible. Hated the fulfillment. I was crap at lead generation, yet I'm selling lead generation. Um, it was one of those typical marketing agencies, right? But at the time, a friend of mine said to me, Joe, like, you're really good at communicating. I know a guy that's looking for a closer. Do you want to try becoming a closer? I'm like, a closer? It sounds a bit strong. What do you mean, like closing people? Like, that's not me. I don't want to like manipulate people. He's like, no, it's not manipulation. It's different. So that's how I got into it. Now I started I started selling for this. It was a dating offer, and in my first month, I made $3,000, and I'm like, "Yo, this is not bad. $3,000." As soon as I made it, I gave it to my mum. I was like, "Listen, I know I've been in trouble. Here's my first paycheck." She wouldn't take it. I gave it to her anyway. Next month, I made $2,000. Next month, I made 1,500. I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm going backwards." And then all of a sudden, I'm on Facebook, and this guy called Jeremy Miner pops up. And he's like, "Hey, we're doing a 3-day challenge. If you want to improve your sales, if you want to make more money online, join my 3-day challenge." And I'm like, "Yeah, fine. It's free. Why not? Let's go." Anyway, jumped into it. I was blown away, thinking my whole life I've been studying human behavior, psychology, body language, communication, but it's an absolute mess. And he's talking to me, and I'm like, "Yo, this really resonates with me. This is what's missing. I don't have a structure." So I booked a call after 3-day challenge, and I spoke. The closer at the time was Bill Walsh. So
Oh, was
this
it?
is yeah. This is when Bill Walsh was back at 7th level, and I remember he's there like on Zoom, and I can see him like reading his script, like going line to line. But if it wasn't for Bill changing my point of view, I wouldn't be where I am now. And he said something to me, which, and I'll tell you what it was. I said, "Man, Bill, I absolutely want to do this. I love it. Like, I'm on an offer, but I'm still like 26 grand in debt. I don't have the money." He said, "Joe," he said, "I get it, man." He said, like, we're all in a situation that sometimes we feel like we can't get out of, but like, let me ask you this. If there's a way to get out of debt faster, do you want to have that conversation? I'm like, "Yeah, obviously." Yeah, of course. He said, "Joe," he said, "have you ever thought about getting into more debt to get out of debt faster?" I'm like, "Bro, you're a fucking idiot." Well, no. Like, why would I go into more? He said, No. He said, "If there was a way to go into more debt to get out of debt faster, are you against having that conversation?" I said, "I'm not against the conversation." So we had that conversation. He guided me a few different ways of making, to borrow money more from my mom, my aunt, my great uncle, and my sister. Managed to get 10 grand, invested into NEPQ, and in 3.5 months, I was completely out of debt. So I went from 26 to 36 grand, and I made it was round about 35,000 over 3 months, and I was pretty much just out of debt. So I'm like, and that's how I pretty much got into the high ticket world, and cleared my debt. So that's how it began. That was about 4 years ago, just round about 4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago. And then from then, I'm like, "Ooh, these skills are powerful." Like, it took me again only 3 months to get out of debt. And at the time, I went through NEPQ. I started making money. I started going on to like different accounts, Amazon, FBA, done for you. Started selling tickets at 30, 40, 60 Ks. Out of 32 closers, I was always in the top 2, top 3 closers, which was great. And then from there, I started jumping on a few offers, and I realized that there's a massive issue in the industry. And that is that there's a lot of good closers on shit offers, And then there's a lot of really good offers with terrible fucking closers. And being a business owner myself in the past, it's like closers don't realize that it's really not fair where you're jumping on an offer all because I want to improve my skills and just, you know, get the calls in just so I can improve my skills. And they abuse the business owner's money when they know they're not ready. And that really hurts me, because it's like, I understand like what's first, chicken or the egg, but you need to have at least basic skills. You can jump on an offer and make money rather than, let me just improve my skills by not investing into a coach and just using, you know, someone else's money for my education. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, I need to make a change. And there was that month I made 42 grand, which is probably my biggest paycheck as a closer, 42 grand in commissions.
And what
And
were
I'm
you
laying
selling
in
at that
bed.
time?
I was selling at Amazon FBA, done for you. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I was in Bali, and I've got my phone. I'm looking at this whole paycheck that's come in. I'm looking at my bank account, and I'm like, fuck. That feeling I had of when I was living in Dubai, had everything I wanted, and that feeling of complete nothingness has come back. Like, money's not making me happy. What the fuck is missing? And bro, like, I actually cried in bed. Like, I cried with, again, loss, disappointment. What do I do? And I'm like, I don't want to go down this road again. What is missing? So I took a turn. I actually went down the plant medicine journey of trying to, you know, discover what was missing in my life. And what was missing is something kept coming to me saying, you say that you're in service to others, but what are you doing to serve others that isn't making you money, where you're just in service to others and just giving. So that's when I started a charity. And I'm like, fuck, I've just had this vision where the more money I make, I'm a vehicle to be able to give more money away. That's why I'm doing this. So then that's what I started to do. So many entrepreneurs are like, yeah, you know, I want to do charity. I want to give back. What are you doing to give back? Oh yeah, I'm just waiting till I make a certain amount of money. I'm just waiting for a time where I can give back. But it's like, and this is what I say to a lot of closers. It's like, why are you closing? Like, what are you doing this for? Oh man, because I love helping people. Okay, so if you love helping people, what the fuck are you doing to give back? Well, I mean, I'm on sales calls and I'm trying to change people's lives. Outside of calls, what are you doing? They're like, oh, what do you mean? I mean, do you do any charity? I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you have to believe in it, but what do you do to truly help other people? They're like, nothing, man. So I put a lot of our guys through challenges where I'm like, hey, don't just donate to charity, physically be there, give out food, give out clothes, whatever it is. And when you're doing it, go through the motion of, hey, it's not about you, it's about them. You need to be giving out stuff and saying, hey, thank you for allowing me to serve you. Thank you for allowing me to be here and to give. There's going to be days where they don't say thank you. They're going to be horrible. Maybe they're drugged up, but it's fine. You could have a headache. You could be tired. Put your ego aside and fully be there to help other people. And when you're there giving and helping other people, imagine what's that going to do to your sales calls when you're jumping on and you completely detach from the outcome, from the cash outcome, and you're there to all of a sudden be like, yo, I'm truly here to see if I can help. And then all of a sudden, your tonality, your body language, the authenticity of you comes out and you truly want to help someone. And that's where I've seen a massive difference. So that's when I thought, hey, like, not only have I had all this experience in sales, I've also got great experience in connecting people. Recruitment. Like I can fix the gap between good closers and good businesses. So that's when we started Nomadic Closer and started it pure as a as a recruitment company. That was about 3 years ago, and I don't know if you
And
ever had this, man. Go on.
just before we go into Nomadic Closer, what was the charity that you started?
So it's called Life Guided by Light. So Life Guided by Light. So a friend of mine started Life Guided by Light several years before me, and it was just like very low key. He didn't want to use any social media, and it was all just him doing it small by himself. And then I told him about my big realization, and he was like, "Well, I have this. Like, why don't you come in and be the director of Life Guided by Light, and let's do something with it?" So it went absolutely insane. It went so insane because every single dollar that we had didn't sorry every single dollar that we raised never went to us. 100% went to charity. We didn't pay ourselves salary, we didn't pay transport, nothing. We paid everything ourselves. And then the guy that was involved, he also became part of the War Room Brothers. And then Andrew Tate, he also donated. He posted it on his on X, so we got a lot of attention and publicity from that as well. And then it just started growing, and now moving forward, um, we're this well, February is going to be seven schools, 37 houses, feeding over 3,000 people a month around the world, and then it's just growing and growing. So it's
It's awesome.
it's really cool. So no matter what country we're in, so Africa, Bali, it's Tanzania, Bali, Dubai, believe it or not, there's huge charity in Dubai. Colombia, where we are now, we've actually got a charity on Saturday. So yeah, that's it's, and I want to make the message clear to entrepreneurs where it's like, hey, you want to donate? Let's make it easy for you. Come in, let's do it together. I don't want your money. I want your money and come and serve. There's a difference between just giving or giving and serving. So that's what we want. If you want to donate and give money, you can, but I'd rather you come and be in service and feel what it's like to actually be there.
Mm. It hits different. It hits different when you actually can be a part of it.
It does. It does. It's sad, man. And then it also it makes you realize like how lucky we are, how fortunate we are. And then so I'll I'll skip forward and then I'll come back. But we did something called the Nomadic Closer House where we had 8 closers came to Medellin, a whole transformation. Um, some of their biggest takeaways was the charity day because they found something in themselves that they never thought was there. And they said that was a huge transformation for them. Self gratitude came out of that. Like, just appreciate the big wins, the small wins. And one of the guys said something which was pure magical. He was like, "Man, I just had this feeling where it's like I'm so lucky and proud of where I am now. I feel like I just want to spend some time on just reflecting and thanking my younger selves for the person that you have been and what you've gone through to get you to where you are now." And like that self gratitude and self acknowledgement is a huge power that no one really uses anymore. It's like, what do you do to celebrate the small wins? What do you do to thank your younger selves for everything that you've been through to get you to where you are now? And that's huge.
Just that self-love aspect, you know,
Yeah.
being able to reflect back and yeah, I think you're absolutely right in the sense that people don't take the time to realize how far they've come in the work that they've put in, right? And they don't take that second to kind of acknowledge that, hey, for you to be where you are today, the younger version of you had to work his ass off to get there. And we just kind of always live in the moment, I find, and that's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to get people to realize. I like that.
It's true. And that's what I see with a lot of closers in the industry is they're just chasing money, 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 money. And it's like, yo, listen, I get it. Like money makes the world go round, but it's not everything. Like talking from experience, I've had everything and I've been broken 3 times. So I understand what it is. Money is great. Money helps. Money can buy you things that you always want. But is there that much difference between making 10, 20, 30, 40 grand a month? Not really. You know, you can still do the same things. You can still travel. There's not that much difference. So like, what is it that you want to do with the money? That's the question. And once you have all the money that you ever want, how are you going to find your happiness? Start living in the present. Don't live in the future. And that's when we see a load of people that go either into depression or anxiety, because depression is worrying about the past that you can't forget, and anxiety is worrying about the future that hasn't happened. So like, let's just bring it back and let's just be present and enjoy the now. But truly, like small little tricks is like if you wear a watch on your left hand, change it to your right hand because it feels awkward and you're like, oh, present. So you kind of anchor that emotion to changing something, and you're like, oh, I've just anchored the emotion to remind myself that because I've changed the watch from one wrist to the other, it just now reminds me that I've got to be more present. Small little things like that, you know what I mean? Like I do it with my microphone. Sometimes it's this side, then it's this side. I'm trying to figure out where it is on my mouse. So, yeah. So, moving forward from that, I'm like, okay, how can I work with very ethical businesses? Because again, few of the businesses I worked with, I didn't know, but they weren't ethical, and I was the closer, and I didn't know that fulfillment wasn't up to scratch, and it came back to me, and one day, 2022, Christmas Day, I had a client send me a voice message on Christmas Day saying, "You're a con artist, you screwed me over, you're fake, I can't believe you did this," and I'm like, what have I done? I just got told to do something. I didn't know that fulfillment wasn't going to work. And now I'm the guilty one. And that completely broke me. So all these small little things that happened, I'm like, I need to fix this gap. I need to fix the gap where I just want people to stop feeling like they're getting screwed over and working for ethical businesses. So the recruitment happened. So started Nomadic Closer as a recruitment agency, and for us it was very easy to get closers and businesses because between me and one of my business partners, Harlan Riker, we invested to pretty much every single like sales program out there, personal development. So a lot of people know our faces in the industry, and quite quickly we became a very ethical recruitment agency. But then what also happened was there's something that entrepreneurs have, which is called the shiny object syndrome. Where everything sounds fucking amazing and we try and do everything and it just doesn't fucking work.
The grass is always greener, right?
Jesus. Right. So then we went from recruitment to done for you sales agency. We had a sales academy teaching B2B, B2C. What do you need to do off the call? Finding your mission, vision, value, purpose. Then we've done the same in the Spanish market and the French market. And then it all just fucking crashed. So everything was going extremely well. And we didn't focus on cash flow. We just kept reinvesting until one of a few clients started owing us a few $100,000. Never got paid, killed our cash flow. And then that's when we started shutting down a few businesses and realized, let me go back to my mission. What is my personal mission? What is my business mission? What is my values? What is my purpose? And I completely forgot that it was recruitment, connecting good closers with good businesses and keep training the closers so they can make more money and the business more money. So that's what we did. So about eight, eight, yeah, 8, 9 weeks ago, I went back to fully focus on recruitment. And guess what? Singular focus actually works. So now we are the fastest growing recruitment agency for high ticket closers in the high ticket space at the moment, which is absolute savage. 98. So the numbers are 98% of all our business comes from referrals.
That's
And
a
that's where we're
beautiful
at
thing.
now. Absolutely.
Uh,
It's like, yes, we can place closers, but how can we make the closers more money by referring? How can we make business more money by referring? How can we have marketing agencies? How can we have everyone in the industry working together so we can all make more money collectively? So we have a beautiful ecosystem of how we work now, and everyone just comes. I'm like, there's no ego here. If you want to go out, Liam, and say, hey, you are a nomadic closer, and you start referring as business, I don't care. Like, let's see how we can make money together. So, long story short, yeah, that's where I am today.
That's beautiful. And what, like going back just for a second, right? When you went from making, is right back to the beginning, but when you went from making, 3,000 and then 2,000 and then 1,500, right? And you're at that entry position, right, where you just got into closing. What was the mindset, right, when you jumped on? And even though I know what Bill said, right, to get you there, to go into debt, to get out of debt, like what was going through your mind at that time?
Well, I have a very good friend called Bogdan Mikov. And Bogdan Mikov now, he's a Macedonian with a very strong accent, and he's probably one of the best closers you will ever meet. Like, incredible. He's also an NLP coach. He's also a hypnotherapist, and he's always been in my corner. So at that point, I was talking to him a lot. We've been friends for 11 years, and it was him actually saying, Joel, if you want to do this for a living, if you want to help people, if you want to close, why are you being like the prospect you hate to deal with? And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, if you keep this mentality of, oh, I need to think about it, oh, it's too much, how are you ever going to ask someone for money if you've never done it yourself? How are you going to be understanding how to get someone uncomfortable so they can invest into themselves if you haven't done it yourself? I'm like, true. He said, if you knew that this wouldn't fail, would you do it? I said, yeah. And then he hung up. It was like mic drop back in the day, you know?
Okay, so you jumped in. You're an NEPQ. You're learning. Did you do 3.0 or inner circle?
I did 3.0.
3.0,
I did
right? So you jumped.
I did 3.0 plus one-on-ones with Sean Ray. So it was a bundle.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I got you. So you went into there. You're doing 3.0. You're getting trained up. What were the first changes that you had seen? Because, like you said earlier, you had always been trained in human behavior since you were 15, right? Like you didn't know you were getting trained that way. But like, what was the biggest shift that happened by investing into yourself and getting that training?
Having the right framework. It's just simple. It's like I can have a conversation, but I'm not leading anyone anywhere. So what I truly understood with NEPQ really quickly was you're taking someone on an emotional journey to then be able to say, hey, I can help you. So what we train and the way that we train as well is like, I'd say 60% of the way that we train and coach sales, 60% comes from NEPQ. And the way that I understood it and the way that I teach it now is like, imagine if we have like this little magic box and the whole goal is to take someone on an emotional journey. And in this magical box, everything And every answer that we're getting, we're putting in this magical box and we're saving for later. And then we're asking another question. And if you know exactly why you're asking the question, what emotion, what you're looking to achieve from that question, if you truly understand the questions, you can then start using their words and saving it. Because the most important part is the presentation. If you get to the presentation and you open your magic box and you use their words and exactly what they're looking for in that presentation, they turn around and they're like, yo, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And they're in this emotional state and you're like, well, yeah, I know, because you told me, right? But it was understanding that a framework could help you do that. But then there was one thing that I massively took away, which we use a lot as well, is we talk about, it's not just the framework, it's the words that you use. How can you use specific words to be able to get a specific answer? So stuff like, rather than how does that make you feel when you're doing maybe a future pace, is like, before that it's like, so let's say we're 12 months into the future, you finally achieve everything that you have on that vision board. Like, what do you see, right? So now they're actually telling you what they see, rather than so there's a few little words that we change. And then the biggest thing is, because I've been studying communication for so long, tonality and body language makes the world of difference. The world of difference. So there's a lot of coaches out there that say, hey man, fuck tonality, fuck body language, it's just bullshit. I totally disagree. That may come natural to them. There are some people that may be super monotone that needs to be able to understand how to influence someone with pauses. One of the best coaches I've ever had, Vin, is an Australian guy. He's got a course called Stage Academy. And that just, because I wanted, from me stuttering when I was younger, the biggest challenge was public speaking. And my whole goal has been get on stage, speak in public, and not be scared. So investing into coaching programs really helped me. And then I get to Vin, and he completely transformed my confidence, the way that I speak, the way that I hold myself. And fast forwarding, exactly a month ago, I spoke in front of 700 people on stage, now representing digital nomads in the at the Chamber of Commerce in Medellin. And so I spoke in Spanish in front of 700 people, and it went unbelievably well. So it's a big achievement.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
That's sick. And Spanish isn't your first language.
I mean, I lived in Spain for 22 years, so it's pretty solid, to be honest. It used to be my first language. Then English took over, but again, I still have my sales academy in the Spanish market, and it's beautiful, bro, because Spanish people speak so fast, and there's so many easy small changes you can do when it comes to tonality and body language, that even if they didn't have a framework, their sales just goes to a next level. It's insane.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because maybe it's just because I'm an English speaker and I haven't been on that side, but you don't hear many that are focusing on the Spanish market. You know what I mean? Like when it
No.
comes to sales trainers and that side of things, there's not many at
No.
all.
And the ones that do have been trained back in the day by old school salespeople or car salesmen. So you hear call reviews or you jump on role plays and you're like, why are you pushing so much? Like, why are you being so aggressive? So the way that we teach is the complete opposite. It's just being relaxed, questions. You're never going binary. You're never giving them options. It's asking skilled questions. So the way that we mention it in Spanish is like, hey, what we teach is very powerful. I don't ever want you to use it for manipulation, right? Otherwise, I don't want to teach you. what we're doing is we're influencing our prospect by skilled questions that insert words into their mouth that they say out loud that helps them convince themselves. Because it's very different thinking something to then saying it out loud, and all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, I just said that out loud and that just hit. And it's beautiful once you see that happen.
And I think so many people, and not even just, now the Spanish market, but just in sales in general, what I've seen is man, they forget that the whole point is to get this person to make their own transformation. All right. I think Matt Ryder said it best when he's like, you can't make anyone buy anything, right?
Mm,
Like you just can't. All you can do is try and get them out of their own way.
that's exactly it.
And I think it's so beautiful because it's so true, right? Like you're having these conversations, you're talking to people, and if you can just get them to admit the things that they're already thinking, the sale's done itself.
And I think too many people go for pain, rather than the gap. And that's where gap selling comes in, right? It's like, this is where you are, this is where you want to be. Check out the reality of how far you are. Like, it's pretty big. It's the realization.
Yeah. I like those small changes, instead of just how that make you feel, but make them actually visualize it, make them taste it, make them see it.
There's one thing I do want to mention, because I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are going to be watching this that are sending out intro videos trying to land jobs. Guys, please remember one thing. This is super important. I'm going to look right into the camera. I'm going to say it. Guys, if you're applying for a job and you're sending an intro video, remember that first impression is everything. So if you turn up in a hoodie, or you just got out of fucking bed, or, the quality is really bad, your background's really bad, the microphone, the sound's really bad, what's going to happen is the recruiter or the business owner is going to look at you and think, is that going to be my future closer? And they don't even entertain it. So, I mean, we look at videos for the first 10 seconds. We disqualify 80% of videos straight away. And then just send them a message saying, hey, we're not even watching it. I get my VA to send a message saying, hey, redo the video, or we're not even going to listen to it. Because we are the business card of the business that we're going to be selling to. And if we can't present ourselves in a good way, why would they hire you?
And jumping into that, right? Like, what do you think are some of the biggest things? Because you've been in recruitment now, and how many reps do you think you've placed, if you had to guess?
Over the last 3 years, I would say between 800 to 1200. I couldn't tell you. Because
So quite a few.
yeah, quite a few. Yeah, an average of 1,000.
What are some of the things that you see that makes a rep stand out, right? Let's go in the example of just that introduction video. What are some
Yeah.
of those things that you see these things, you're like, okay, we'll give them a shot. Because like you said, you're only watching that first 10, 15 seconds.
Microphone, camera, quality. Now, and then the next thing is how you present yourself. Do you look scruffy with scruffy hair? Do you look like you can present? Maybe these are a few other things. If you turn up in a suit and you want to sell a fitness offer, what the fuck are you doing? It doesn't go. If you want to sell fitness and you turn up in a hoodie, you can get away with it, or in some sports gear, you can get away with it, right? But it's like, understand what avatar you're trying to approach and sell for. Then it's confidence, but not cockiness. It's certainty in the way that you speak. And please don't read off a fucking CV you made in high school. I'm a super confident guy and I like working in a team and I like helping other people. It's like, fuck off. Like, come on. Like, just be natural. Be natural. And the more natural you are, the more I can see that you're authentic. And then that's what gets me.
Hmm. So be genuine. Let them see your real self.
Be genuine. So genuine. Like the guys that have 100% success rate on landing jobs are supernatural. Some that stand back and they've got their mic and they're like, hi, my name is Joel Elster and I have been in sales for 10 years and I love this industry. I love it so much that I think I could be a great candidate for your offer. And when I say your offer, congratulations. Like, that's not natural, man. Like, I do take the piss a lot because it not only wastes my time, you're wasting your own time.
Mm.
And then you think, oh, I can't land a job. I don't know what to do. And I get it. No one's, and this is the biggest issue with a lot of sales coaches is they don't actually prepare you for interviews.
No.
And that's the biggest issue. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you look like a bit of a div, jump, jumping onto an interview is. So that intro video is probably one of the most important things.
No, I can see that. And when you're coming in, right, like as a recruiter, you, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you would have seen a lot of people repeat. One thing that I've seen in the industry so much is like offer hopping, offer cycling, you know, where people go from offer to offer, thing to thing. And sometimes it's a mix of, maybe bad management. Sometimes it's a mix of just a bad offer. And sometimes it's a mix of just the closer. They blame those things, but really it's just them, right? But what have you done to be able to really minimize that? And what is your advice to someone that maybe is jumping offer to offer at the moment because they can't find the right thing?
First of all, you need to understand that the reason why people jump from offer to offer is because their sales gurus have sold a fake dream of, man, if you're not making more than 10, 20 grand a month, it's a bad offer. I think everyone expects to be making more than they should be making. If you're making 10 grand as a closer, that's good. It's a good salary. If you make more, there are offers where you can make more. We have closers making 30, 40 grand on offers. But I think it's the expectation of jumping into an offer thinking you're going to make 10 grand just like that. Oh, it's a shit offer because I didn't make 10 grand in my first month or in my second month. Things take time. It takes time to build up your pipeline. It takes time to understand the offer. So that's one thing. The other thing is they haven't done their research on the business before jumping in. So there's a lot of businesses that start hiring closers without going through recruitment, without giving right numbers, selling false OTEs. Like, oh, your OTE on this offer can be 10 grand. All right,
Fuck
what's
me,
the number?
OTEs.
So recently, over the last couple of months, we've got rid of our OTEs. We don't mention OTE on offers. We just don't.
It's probably better in a lot of sense.
Yeah, we can say what some of the closers are making, but your success doesn't rely on someone else's success, and that is the biggest thing. It's like, why are you comparing yourself to other people? The only competition every closer should have is themselves. So how can they keep on improving? And the longer you do stay in an offer, the more you understand the avatar, the more you understand how you can self-generate leads. Like some of the best closers I know in the industry, they stay on offers for at least a year. Like I know one guy, he created his own funnel, so he became not just a closer but an affiliate as well. So he had his own affiliate links with his own ads that was running, captured, and obviously because it was self-generated, he was making double as much money on commissions than he was as if he was just waiting for inbound. I know another guy, he signed up with this cold email company that sends out like 20,000 cold emails a day. So he self-generates lead from cold emails. So if you want to make more money, what the fuck are you doing? You're just sitting there waiting. Hey, like, I'm not going to do anything until a lead lands on my lap. I know I'm not even going to follow up because it was a shit lead. So everyone is guilty from jumping from offer to offer just because their expectations hasn't been met by what their gurus told them or what the industry average is. That's the biggest thing. So going back to what I was saying, a lot of businesses that aren't going through placement agencies or recruitment agencies haven't been vetted. And that's something we're trying to shorten. Is there's only 3-4 good recruitment agencies that I would recommend that truly vet the offers before handing it down to a closer. Now, is that always 100% accurate? No. There's only so much we can do, and there's so much information we can rely on, but it does filter through a lot of the crap. They say, oh no, it's we have all organic leads, and we don't run any ads, and our Instagram account keeps getting shut down, but I'm going to recruit a closer to go through my inbox to try and warm up some leads.
And he's going to make 20 grand a month. That's the OT.
Yeah, that's mad, right? Mad.
It definitely is. And I guess like for yourself, right? What do you now focus on? Do you have a niche that you tend to focus on when you're in recruiting, or is it anything and everything? Like if someone wants to find you, they're like, look, I'm sick of doing this offer hopping game. I want to be able to, go and find more of a forever home. How can you help them? Who do you help best?
Cool. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to get everyone to wait a second because I need to quickly charge my battery. So give me 2 secs. So the suspense.
Go for it.
And there it is. So what was the question again?
Yeah, so if someone's like in the space, right? I'm talking a closer, I'm talking a setter, and they do want to be able to come and, have your services and be able to help find a good offer. Who do you best serve? Who do you best help?
Who do I best help? Who do I best serve? If we look at closers that 90% of all the closers we place have already sold over $1 million. To be completely transparent, I did a post the other day saying, hey guys, if you're new in the industry and you want to get placed through us, it's going to be tough because we only place closers that have a track record. Now, I understand that there are some really good closers that are probably better than guys that sold over $1 million. So then I say, hey, if you do feel like you're confident enough to jump on a role play with me and close me, let's do it. If not, you're going to pay me $100. And obviously I've never charged them, but it's kind of like, if you have that confidence, like, let's do it. And the guys that do come forward, I'd say 2 out of 50% are good enough, and I place them. So, and if you don't close me, you're going to be blacklisted from our recruitment for a good couple of months because you're just not ready. You've just wasted my time. Now, why do I do that? We are not a recruitment agency that charge businesses upfront. And this is where it becomes really interesting. And this is why we are the fastest growing recruitment agency in the space at the moment, is because we used to do it as well. We used to charge upfront for closers, had a 45-day guarantee of replacement. Now it's like, okay, I understand it. if you're a business owner and you have a 5x ROAS and you're spending 5 grand on a closer up front, you're losing 25 grand because you could have put that 5 grand into ads and made 25 grand. Following me? So now it's like, hey, Mr. Business Owner, I'm not going to charge you 5 grand up front. We know what we're doing. We have full faith in the closers that we place. We have full faith in the system and the recruitment platform that we have. We're not going to charge you anything up front. Put that 5 grand into ads that you're going to pay up front. So now that you've made 25 grand, if you have a 5x ROAS, what we do is we charge commission only. So we charge 3% on cash collected per closer. And that caps at 300K. So as closers are making money, you're only then paying us. So the reason why we only want to place closers that we know are actually going to smash it is because we want to get fucking paid. So if a new closer comes in and doesn't have confidence, unfortunately, we're not closing that person. We're not placing that person. And I know it sounds harsh, but we are doing this to make money. We want our closers to make money. We want our business to make money. And like I said, 98% of all our business comes from referrals from other businesses and closers because that's the system that we have. And we have a 100% close rate on businesses, but we do have a high rate where we disqualify businesses as well. So for the businesses that we accept, it's 100% close rate. Just because the systems that we have, the commission base that we have, and again, we go through the whole interview process. We then give a short list to the businesses. We send them over a closer profile with time zone, location, language, accent, what they've sold in the past, how much they've sold in total revenue, and sales coaches, and underneath a Loom video, which is their intro video. They quickly just see the profile, listen to the Loom video or the intro video, and just says yes, no. And then after that, we move on to the interview process. It's super simple. We've made it extremely simple for the business owner.
And where do you see the company going? Like, where's next for you guys? How big are you wanting to take this? I know you've placed over 1,000 reps so far, let's call it. Where do you want to take it in the next 3 years? Like, what's the goal?
I want to go into stay in recruitment, but go into different sections and sectors. So at the moment, we're purely focused on high ticket closers. We've just now partnered up with a setting company as well. So anyone that needs setters, we don't just use our database. We've collaborated with another DM setting company as well. And we're also now collaborating with someone who trains sales managers. So we now place closers, setters, and managers. Closers is our speciality. The rest we have joint forces. Then slowly, our good friend Adam Taylor is moving people away from high ticket closing into insurance. So that'll be phase 2. And then phase 3 will be corporate sales. So with everything that we're doing, we actually, behind the scenes, we're actually creating a SaaS and a data company. So as an example, once a month, we can blast an email to all our contacts, and maybe we can blast an email saying, hey closers, if you're looking for passive income, here is an opportunity that we've vetted, we trust. Here's a link if you want more information. It could be, hey closers, if you want to now learn a bit about how you can become an insurance agent and get out of the high ticket space, here's a link, here's more information. So there's not just us giving opportunities in different sections, it's also helping closers how they can make passive income, how they can maybe have career changes, how they can manage their money. I mean, there's so many different ways we can do, and that would just be on a monthly basis, and then eventually sell the business in the next 4 to 5 years is the expectation.
What do you want to exit at? What's the goal?
20 million.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
20 million in the next 4 to 5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Joel, I really appreciate you jumping on, man. It's been really fun and insightful to see a little bit more into you and your journey. If someone wants to find you, where can they best connect with you?
My Instagram has just been hacked and deleted.
So
My
not Instagram.
yeah, my Facebook the same got deleted, and I managed to get it back. The way to find me at the moment, guys, is Joel Elster 2 on Facebook, or on Instagram is nomadic.closer. So I've taken over the company profile and I've converted it into my own for now. So nomadic.closer, as you can see. Nomadic.closer on Instagram, that's where you can find me.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, look, Joel, thank you so much. Guys, if you like this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let me know below who you want to see on next. Till then.
Thank you for having me.